Listen, can you hear it? That beautiful, sharp sizzle as the pheasant hits the hot pan. That's the sound that starts this whole gorgeous story. It's the promise of something truly special. Then, that sound softens, giving way to the gentle bubble of stock and the soft scrape of your wooden spoon. The kitchen starts to fill with the most incredible smells. Rich, gamey pheasant, sweet onions, a splash of wine, and earthy herbs. This isn't just cooking, it's about creating an atmosphere, a feeling of comfort and pure deliciousness. This pheasant risotto is all about that journey, from a loud, exciting start to a soft, creamy, and utterly satisfying finish. Pheasant is a magnificent bird, and it's an absolute star in a risotto. It's leaner than chicken, with a deeper, more interesting flavour that has a touch of the wild about it. It tastes of the countryside. That beautiful, earthy character is the perfect partner for the creamy, comforting embrace of a proper risotto. The slight sweetness of the rice and the richness from the butter and parmesan lift the pheasant, making it sing. We're not just making a rice dish here, we're creating a plate of food that tells a story of fields and hedgerows, all brought together in one glorious, warming bowl. It's rustic, it's elegant, and it's a joy to cook. The real magic, the little secret to making this dish absolutely perfect, is all in the timing. Pheasant, because it's so lean, can become dry if you're not careful. But don't you worry, I've got a brilliant trick to keep it juicy and tender every single time. We're going to give it a quick, confident sear at the beginning to get that lovely golden colour and lock in all the flavour. Then we'll take it out of the pan and let it finish cooking gently, nestled into the creamy rice towards the end. This way, the meat stays incredibly moist and succulent, giving you these lovely, tender little jewels throughout the risotto. So, let's get into it. This isn't a complicated recipe, I promise you. It's about simple steps and beautiful ingredients treated with a bit of love and respect. Forget any fears you might have about making risotto. It's a beautifully calm and rhythmic process. Just put on some good music, pour yourself a little glass of wine, and get ready to stir your way to a truly stunning meal. Right then, let's get our ingredients, our cast of characters, lined up and ready for the show. A great dish starts with great produce, so get the best you can find. First up, the star. You'll need 2 lovely pheasant breasts, skin off, and we'll chop them into bite-sized pieces. For the heart of our risotto, you need 300 grams of proper risotto rice. Arborio or carnaroli are both brilliant. They've got the starch we need to get that beautiful, creamy texture. We'll need about 1.2 litres of good quality chicken or game stock. Using game stock, if you can find it, will really amp up that gorgeous, deep flavour. Next up are our flavour builders. Grab 1 medium onion and chop it nice and fine. We want it to melt away into the risotto, creating a sweet base. You'll also need 2 cloves of garlic, minced up until they're almost a paste. For that little kick of acidity that cuts through the richness, we'll use 150 millilitres of a decent dry white wine, something you'd be happy to drink. Then, for the glorious finish, get 50 grams of cold, unsalted butter, cubed up, and 50 grams of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Please, grate it yourself. It melts so much better than the pre-grated stuff. It's these final touches that make all the difference. A good pinch of sea salt and freshly ground black pepper is essential. You'll also need a little splash of olive oil for the pan. And for that final burst of freshness and colour, a lovely handful of fresh flat leaf parsley or a few sprigs of thyme, finely chopped. Thyme is wonderful with game, while parsley gives it a clean, bright lift. Having everything measured and ready to go makes the whole cooking process smooth, calm, and enjoyable. It's what the pros call mise en place. Okay, let's get cracking. The first job is to give our beautiful pheasant some love. Take your bite-sized pieces and pop them in a bowl. Season them generously with a good pinch of sea salt. A few twists of black pepper. Don't be shy. This is our first chance to start building layers of flavour. Get your hands in there and give it all a good mix. Make sure every single piece is coated. This simple step is so important. It ensures the meat is delicious in its own right. Now for the fun bit. Place a large, heavy-bottomed pan or shallow casserole over a medium-high heat. Add a good lug of olive oil and let it get nice and hot. You'll know it's ready when the oil shimmers a little. Carefully add the seasoned pheasant pieces. Don't overcrowd. Hear that confident sizzle. That's the sound of flavor being created. Let the pieces brown for just 2 to 3 minutes. Turn them once until they are beautifully golden on the outside. This isn't about cooking them through, it's about color and texture. This searing stage is the key to our never dry promise. Browning quickly over high heat creates the Maillard reaction. That chemical process gives browned food its distinctive, delicious flavor. Like toast tasting better than bread or a seared steak, so irresistible. We're creating a flavorful crust while keeping the inside tender and a little raw. A bit of kitchen science for perfectly juicy pheasant. Once they have that lovely golden blush, use a slotted spoon to lift them out. Place them on a plate and set aside. Now look in the pan. See those little brown bits stuck to the bottom? That is pure gold. That's concentrated flavor we won't waste. We'll use it to build the base of our risotto. Don't you dare wash that pan. The first act is complete. Stage set for the next delicious chapter. Right, with the pheasant resting, let's turn our attention back to that pan full of flavor. Lower the heat to medium and, if it looks a bit dry, add another little splash of olive oil. Now tip in your finely diced onion. You'll hear a gentle sizzle as it hits the pan. This is where the patience comes in. We want to cook the onion slowly for about 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally, until it's soft, sweet, and translucent. We don't want it to colour too much. We just want it to melt down and create a beautiful sweet foundation. Once the onion is lovely and soft, it's time to add the minced garlic. Stir it into the onions and cook for just 1 more minute. Be careful, garlic can burn quite easily, and burnt garlic tastes bitter, which we definitely don't want. You'll know it's ready when you're hit with that incredible fragrant aroma. This simple combination of onion and garlic, softened in the pan juices left behind by the pheasant, is the classic start to so many brilliant dishes. And it's the heart and soul of our risotto. Now for the rice. Tip your 300 grams of arborio or carnaroli rice straight into the pan. This next bit is called toasting the rice, or tostatura in Italian. Use your wooden spoon to stir the rice constantly for 1 or 2 minutes, making sure every single grain gets coated in the oil and the oniony, garlicky goodness. You'll see the edges of the grains start to turn a little translucent, while the center stays a pearly white. This step is crucial. With the rice perfectly toasted, it's time for the wine. Pour in your 150 milliliters of dry white wine all at once. The pan will sizzle and steam up dramatically. It's a bit of kitchen theatre. Keep stirring as the wine bubbles away. As you stir, use your spoon to scrape up all those delicious caramelized bits from the bottom of the pan that the pheasant left behind. The acidity in the wine helps to release them, and they'll dissolve into the liquid, adding an incredible depth of flavour. Let the wine cook until it has almost completely evaporated and the sharp smell of alcohol has mellowed. The rice has now absorbed its first layer of flavour. Soft. Now begins the slow, rhythmic dance of making risotto. Your stock should be simmering gently in its pot nearby. Grab a ladle. Add your first ladleful of warm stock to the rice. It will bubble and hiss as it hits the pan. Now start stirring. Slow, constant, gentle. You don't need to stir manically. Just a slow, constant, gentle movement is perfect. This gentle agitation is what helps the rice grains rub against each other, releasing their wonderful starch, creating that classic creamy texture. Keep stirring until the rice has absorbed most of that first ladle of stock. Once the pan is looking almost dry again, it's time for the next ladle of stock. Add it in, stir slowly and lovingly until the liquid is absorbed. This is the rhythm of risotto. Ladle, stir, absorb. Ladle, stir, absorb. It might seem tedious, but this is a 20-minute job that you can't rush. It's a mindful, relaxing process. Resist the temptation to dump all the stock in at once. Doing it this way, ladle by ladle, allows the rice to cook evenly and develop that beautiful, creamy consistency from the outside in. After about 10 or 12 minutes of this process, the rice should be about halfway cooked. It will have swollen up and started to look creamy, but it will still have a definite chalky bite to it. Now is the perfect moment to reintroduce our star player. Tip the seared pheasant pieces back into the pan. Tip any juices from the plate in. Give everything a gentle stir to mix the pheasant into the rice. The meat will now finish cooking gently, simmering away in the stock, staying incredibly tender and soaking up the flavours. Continue the process of adding the stock, one ladle at a time, and stirring. As you get closer to the end, start tasting the rice more frequently. Soft and creamy on the outside. Slight bite. Tiny bit of firmness right in the centre. You might not need all the stock, or you might need a splash more hot water. Let the rice be your guide. The whole process should take about 18 to 20 minutes. Trust your instincts and taste, taste, taste. We're on the home stretch now. This is where the real magic happens. Once the rice is perfectly al dente, creamy but with that little bit of bite, and the risotto is looking beautifully fluid and wavy, it's time to take it off the heat completely. Turn off the burner or move the pan away from direct heat. This prevents the cheese from becoming stringy and stops the butter from splitting. It allows everything to emulsify into a smooth, velvety sauce. The risotto should be loose enough that it flows gently. If it's too stiff, add a small splash of stock to loosen it. Now for the glorious, luxurious finish. Drop your cold cubed butter into the risotto. Tip in a mountain of freshly grated Parmesan. Start stirring everything together quite vigorously. Watch the butter and cheese melt into the rice and become glossy and creamy. Keep stirring until fully incorporated and flowing. Taste to check seasoning. Add a pinch of salt, only if needed, and a generous grind of black pepper. Stir in most of your chopped parsley or thyme. Save a little for sprinkling on top. Cover the pan and let it rest for a minute or two. Spoon into bowls. Perfect creamy pheasant risotto complete. Right, the wait is over. It's time to serve up this beautiful bowl of comfort. Grab some wide, shallow bowls. Spoon a generous amount into the center of each bowl. Give the bowl a little shake to help it settle. Distribute those tender pheasant pieces on top. Check multiple bowls so everyone gets their fair share. The risotto should look rich, inviting, and full of rustic charm. It's a dish that's both humble and incredibly impressive. To make it look extra special, add a few finishing touches. A little drizzle of really good extra virgin olive oil over the top. Sprinkle over the last of your reserved fresh parsley or thyme. I always like to have an extra bowl of grated Parmesan on the table. It's these little details that turn a great meal into an unforgettable one. When it comes to pairing, keep it simple. This dish is the star. A simple, crisp green salad with a sharp, lemony vinaigrette. And for a drink, a glass of the same dry white wine you used in the cooking. This meal is designed to be enjoyed with friends and family. A cozy night in that feels a little bit fancy. It's all about warmth, comfort, and good company.